What if I told you that what you call sudden sadness or a power outage is not just an emotional state, but a real vibrational interference? There is something invisible around you, a hidden electrical field that responds to your thoughts, your breath, and even the silence you inhabit. Nikola Tesla once said that the universe is not made of matter, but of energy, frequency, and vibration. A phrase repeated so often that it almost becomes cliché, yet rarely understood in its full depth. Tesla was not only speaking about physics, he was speaking about the soul. For him, everything that exists is a living electrical system. And every human being is a point of light in this vast cosmic network. But what happens when that light dims, even for a moment? When you feel unexplained fatigue, emptiness, or heaviness in the air as you enter certain spaces. You might think it is tension, depression, or a mood swing, but Tesla saw something much deeper. He called it frequency interference, a subtle misalignment between your natural vibration and the collective energy field. Imagine your mind as an antenna. Everything you think, feel, or fear emits waves that travel through the unseen space connecting all beings. At the same time, you receive waves from other minds, from environments, from ancient memories lingering in the air. Some places feel light, almost embracing, while in others, every breath feels as heavy as lead. This is not mere psychological perception, it is spiritual physics. The body senses what the mind has yet to decode. Tesla believed that negative energy is essentially a distortion of vibrations. When in a state of peace, your mental waves are coherent and harmonious, and the surrounding field aligns like a symphony. But when overwhelming emotions, fear, guilt, anger, despair, accumulate, they create noise. The same kind of noise that disrupts an electric motor, the current falters, the light flickers. The soul becomes like a lamp on the verge of going out. Even more concerning, dense energy is contagious. Just as sound travels through walls, the human vibrational field spreads invisibly. Prolonged negative thought can alter the environment around you, even the mental state of those nearby. Tesla saw this as evidence that the human mind is a machine. He said that when humans learn to read the energy of thought, humanity will transform in a decade more than it had in all previous centuries. But if this influence is real, an unavoidable question arises. What happens when humanity trembles together with fear, anger, or despair? Tesla said the entire planet resonates in response. He believed Earth is a living, immense sphere, an electrical being pulsing with waves. Every human emotion leaves traces in the global magnetic field. So when millions feel fear, the field intensifies. It is like a hidden storm. Everyone feels its effects without knowing the source. Here begins the real struggle. Negative energy is not a distant enemy. It is a mirror that slips into you when you forget your own power. It begins when you believe the world affects you more than you affect it. When you surrender your frequency to circumstances instead of remembering who controls it. Tesla said humans are living transformers. We receive raw energy from the universe and reflect back the consciousness within us. When you vibrate in fear, you amplify the noise. When you vibrate in love, you reorganize the field. Yet there is a paradox. If everything is energy, even fear has its purpose, even shadow carries information. Tesla understood this in a semi-mystical way. Negative forces in the universe are simply reversed polar currents. The field that destroys may also be the field that builds, depending on how it is directed. Just as electricity can light a city or burn it to the ground, emotional energy can heal or sicken, depending on the current's flow. And here is a fascinating point: negative energy is often a call to adapt. Its presence is a warning of something vibrating out of harmony. Instead of fleeing, the solution lies in reconnecting with the source. Tesla believed that the human body has a natural frequency, a unique vibrational fingerprint, like a musical instrument. When you breathe consciously, you harmonize with this internal note. It is like resetting an electric circuit. Just a deep, silent breath can restore flow and dissipate interference. Few believe this because they were taught to seek answers outside themselves, hoping for external forces to fix what can only be solved from within. Tesla said humanity's greatest mistake is seeking energy outside themselves, emphasizing, the power is within. We are both receivers and transmitters of the universe itself. He spent long periods in silence and contemplation, convinced that focused thought is the purest form of spiritual energy. When calm, the field reorganizes, your breath flows anew, your mind slows, and clarity replaces confusion. What once felt heavy becomes mere vibration, a resonance seeking its echo. It is light remembering it is light. Yet a question rarely asked remains: why, as luminous beings, do we insist on harmonizing with darkness? Why do we cultivate thoughts that exhaust us, environments that sicken us, relationships that weaken us? Perhaps because, as Tesla observed, humanity has not yet learned to harness its own power. People prefer believing in limits because complete freedom frightens them. Negative energy, in a way, reminds us of the slavery we imposed on ourselves. It reminds us that we have yet to master our own frequency. But truth, however daunting, is liberating. No one remains malevolent forever. Density is transient, like a cloud blocking the sun without extinguishing it. Every dark cloud carries water that nourishes life. Similarly, negative energy can fuel awakening. When acknowledged and faced, it transforms burden into strength, weight into momentum, fear into wisdom. Tesla believed this is the true miracle of consciousness, the ability to transform. Nothing needs destruction, only redirection. Dense energy is simply undirected energy. When you channel it clearly, it becomes light. When rejected, it accumulates. The secret is remembering that you are the conductor, not a victim of the current. If this power always resides within you, why do most people fail to use it? Perhaps because believing in darkness is easier than embracing the responsibility of light. Because light requires discipline, silence, and courage. Tesla did not fear solitude. He saw it as the perfect state to listen to the noise of the universe. He said that in silence, equations become music, and thoughts become visible sparks. Deepest knowledge does not come from study, it comes from harmony. And now, what is at stake is your ability to harmonize. Every thought is a key. Every feeling is a frequency. Change one, and the entire landscape of your reality responds: field, body, destiny. It is like pressing a key in the dark. Light does not need to fight shadow, it simply appears. Yet one final paradox emerges: if light is so simple, why does it seem so hard to attain? Because the first step requires surrender. You must acknowledge that you are energy before you can transform it. You must recognize the unseen to master the visible. Here begins Tesla's spiritual science, not in laboratories, but in human consciousness. And perhaps this is why he once said, with a mysterious gleam in his eyes, that the future belongs to those who perceive the power of subtle vibrations. He knew the next revolution would not be technological, it would be energetic. Beginning in the heart of every individual willing to ignite their own frequency. Close your eyes. Breathe. Sense the field around you. Ask yourself, what is vibrating within me in this moment? Is it noise or harmony? Shadow or light? This silent, intimate answer is the beginning of transformation. Tesla also discovered something not fully revealed. Ancient civilizations consciously manipulated these frequencies to balance mind, body, and soul. Knowledge faded with time, explaining why the modern world feels denser, noisier, and more exhausting. What they knew about invisible energy, and how Tesla rediscovered its secrets, proves that the unseen is more real than any matter. When Tesla said the universe is energy, frequency, and vibration, he was not merely stating a scientific theory, he was unveiling the secret civilizations relied on long before the modern era. The unity of soul, nature, and cosmos exists in a single electric pulse. Ancient cultures were not primitive, they understood what we have forgotten. Everything we feel, think, and do shapes the hidden field we inhabit, and this field, in turn, shapes our lives. Most people today live disconnected from this understanding. They rush, produce, and sleep exhausted, unaware that fatigue comes not from the body, but from imbalanced energy. If you ever entered a room and felt immediate discomfort, or approached someone and felt your heartbeat accelerate for no reason, you experienced what amazed Tesla. Ancient sages called it the life field, the aura, prana, or chi. Tesla considered it a vibrational network, a luminous fabric covering the planet, connecting all living beings. Imagine a giant harp made of invisible strings. Each person is a string. When a string vibrates harmoniously, the sound is beautiful. When another string vibrates out of sync, noise spreads and disturbs everyone. The same applies to human energy. Fear or anger is a discordant note. Multiply it, and it creates dissonance across the collective field. What would happen if the entire world stopped for just 60 seconds? Instead of fear, emit light, Tesla believed. He thought the planet would enter a state of harmonic resonance and that a new era of balance would begin. It might seem far-fetched, but for him, the impossible was simply something that hadn't yet vibrated with enough intensity. In the next segment, you will understand how this seemingly simple practice becomes powerful when combined with deep awareness, and how negative energy, instead of being an enemy, can become a hidden teacher guiding you to the next frequency of the soul. In Tesla's world, even shadow has a purpose. Once you understand that purpose, fear no longer controls you. Nikola Tesla believed that negative energy is not a flaw in the universe, but a secret language, a code of communication between consciousness and the hidden field. Everything we call a problem, a crisis, or density, is just a vibrational pattern trying to deliver a message that the mind has yet to translate. He wrote in one of his notebooks, "Nothing happens against us, everything happens to correct the frequency." This idea was so advanced that even his contemporaries rejected it, but Tesla saw the world differently. He believed that pain itself is an electric pulse bringing us back into harmony. Imagine this: every feeling of discomfort, every conflict, is a spark alerting you that something inside is out of tune. When a wire is overloaded, it hums. When the spiritual body is unbalanced, we feel fear, anger, or sadness. The mistake isn't feeling these emotions, it's ignoring the messages they reveal. Tesla observed that most people try to silence pain rather than listen to it, losing the transformative power it carries. He said negative energy is the most loyal teacher. It returns until you learn what it came to teach. He wasn't alone in this insight, and modern research in emotional neuroscience confirms it. Emotions often considered negative, like guilt or sadness, activate areas of the brain responsible for learning and behavioral change. In other words, discomfort is not punishment, it is adaptation. A century before modern science, Tesla knew the soul evolves in spirals, and that every spiral of growth is preceded by vibrational collapse. Chaos, for him, was not destruction but recalibration. He also believed that every human carries two poles within, like a living battery, a positive pole of consciousness and a negative pole of experience. When these poles collide, the shadow appears, not as an enemy, but as a mirror of what has not yet been integrated. Tesla wrote that evil is simply light seen from a different angle. This perspective, similar to the Hermetic principle of balance between opposites, shows that negativity does not need to be expelled, it needs to be understood. But how do we understand what appears to harm us? Tesla said we must change the question from, "Why is this happening?" to, "What is this energy trying to show me?" This subtle shift moves our perspective from victimhood to creation. At this point, the field begins to respond differently because, according to him, the universe does not respond to words but to the vibration behind them. When you take responsibility for your frequency, dense energy loses its power. There is a little-known story from Tesla's life during a personal collapse in 1895. A fire destroyed his laboratory in New York, turning years of experiments and notes into ash within hours. Witnesses said Tesla walked through the flames as if in a trance. Days later, he reflected on the ruins and declared, "The fire revealed to me what I had not yet understood, the energy that destroys is the same that creates." Within months, he rebuilt his experiments from scratch, developing even more advanced inventions. To him, the catastrophe was not a loss, it was liberation, a necessary process for a new frequency to emerge. Tesla believed that every dense energy carries creative potential if redirected. The problem is that humans react to the influence without realizing they can use it as fuel. Anger, for example, is one of the strongest energies in the human field. Suppressed, it causes illness. Consciously understood and directed, it transforms into focus and determination. Sadness, when accepted, becomes sensitivity. Fear, when observed, becomes intuition. There is no emotion without utility, they are all forms of energy seeking expression. This is not just spiritual theory. Research at the HeartMath Institute shows that emotions like gratitude and compassion generate coherent electrical patterns in the heart, while fear and anger produce chaotic fields. When the heart field becomes coherent, the brain aligns, and the nervous system self-regulates. Tesla intuitively understood this. Emotions are electrical currents that alter the vibrations of the entire body. The difference between chaos and harmony is, simply, resonance. There is one type of negative energy Tesla considered more dangerous than any other: energy that is not ours. Humans naturally absorb frequencies from their environment. We live in a sea of vibrations, and not all of them belong to us, he said. How many times have you woken up feeling light, only to feel drained hours later after being around someone or somewhere crowded? That is energy pollution. Tesla called this the spiritual inductive coupling. When one person's field resonates with another's, it reproduces their vibrational pattern. Tesla suggested a strange exercise. Every time you feel an unexpected heaviness, ask yourself, is this mine? This simple question breaks the coupling, separating your field from the foreign energy. The stronger your vibration, the less external energy can penetrate. He believed that a conscious mind becomes a closed luminous circuit, allowing love to flow while repelling density. Even when collective shadow attempts to pull you, raising your vibration ensures visibility to denser fields, not as a threat, but as a test of frequency. The more light you emit, the more the universe confirms the truth of your illumination, he Tesla. This principle applies to human growth. As you advance, old wounds surface, not as regression, but as purification. The universe tests you, and the resistance you meet is merely the old field trying to maintain itself. Tesla advised observation, not resistance. Breathe, stay focused, and allow the field to reorganize naturally. Harmony is not achieved by force, but by presence. Modern studies of psychological resilience reinforce this idea. The human brain takes about 21 days to adapt to a new emotional pattern. When you consciously change your vibration through calmness, gratitude, or silence, the old system resists for roughly 3 weeks until the new pattern becomes natural. Tesla emphasized daily practice, even if just 1 minute. Frequency strengthens through rhythm, not intensity. What if imagination is the strongest tool to accelerate this process? Tesla believed visual thinking is not fantasy, but vibrational geometry. Imagining light dissolving density directs the field to act. The mind is the operator, the universe is the machine, he wrote. Modern quantum physics echoes this. Observation changes matter's behavior. Creative imagination is the same principle, the collapse of the guiding function. Tesla even imagined collective consciousness shaping the world. If enough people visualized the planet surrounded by light, Earth's energy field would stabilize. Studies on group meditation suggest that during periods of collective peace-focused practice, violence temporarily declines in major cities. While some scientists question these findings, the correlation is striking. Tesla viewed Earth as a living being, humanity as its nervous system. When enough people raise their vibrations, the planet responds with balance. When density dominates, storms, explosions, and crises occur. This spiritual view aligns with modern science. Human behavior directly affects the environment. Pollution, climate imbalance, even changes in the magnetic field are consequences of our actions. Fear and greed charge Earth's field with low frequencies. Yet there is quiet hope. a single awakened consciousness has a vibrational power equal to thousands asleep. Light needs no resistance, shadow simply recedes. This is true energetic alchemy. Clarity dissolves chaos. So what should we do with negative energy? Tesla said, observe it, understand it, breathe it, not flee from it. It shows where noise remains, and as you illuminate it, the universe responds differently. Circumstances, people, even environments begin to reorganize. The world is not solid, it is a malleable field. What if negative energy is not an obstacle, but the path to enlightenment? Every burden, every struggle, can be the universe's reminder that you can still rise. Tesla saw each human as a station in formation, learning to adjust their frequency until they become a beacon of light. Perhaps this is the greatest lesson: negativity is the beginning, not the end. It is the seed of transformation, the spark that drives consciousness toward balance. In this process, humans awaken to what they have always been, a glowing cosmic spark capable of illuminating everything it touches. In the next segment, you will discover how Tesla turned this vibrational wisdom into daily practices, how every simple movement or word can create a natural energy shield impenetrable to density. The secret, as he said, is not to escape the shadow, but to learn to shine within it. Nikola Tesla said, true power is not in what a human invents, but in what they discover within. The human body is a sacred machine, designed to receive and transmit energy consciously. Unlike the machines in his lab, this machine needs no wires or fuel, only attention. Attention is the purest form of energy. Where the mind rests, current flows. Tesla knew that a lifetime is defined by the focus of thought vibrations. When attention scatters, so does energy, and negativity seeps in, not as an external force, but as a result of forgetting one's center. He insisted on daily habits to maintain high frequency and a stable energy field. This is not about mystical spirituality, it is about maintaining vibration. The body is like an antenna, it must be clean, balanced, and tuned to transmit clearly. The modern world is a storm of electromagnetic noise, overwhelming the mind.